Paramagnetic lesions are one potential marker of chronic active inflammation in multiple sclerosis. And that's a big target these days for novel drugs because our current drugs are really good at preventing acute inflammation, but not chronic inflammation. So what I was looking at are these paramagnetic lesions, or PRLs, and trying to find out why do they occur in some people and not others. And what factors influence their evolution, whether they appear or disappear. So we looked in a group of 152 people with multiple sclerosis who were measured over a time period of 8 years follow-up. And yeah, we looked at several different demographic, clinical, and radiological factors that could be influencing whether people got new PRLs or the PRLs in people who had them disappeared. First of all, what we found is that the overall incidence of new paramagnetic lesions was pretty low. We found that approximately 18% of people over follow-up had at least one newly appearing paramagnetic lesion, which is pretty low, and that's about what we expected based on previous results. And what determined whether someone was going to have a new paramagnetic lesion or not turned out to be whether they had a baseline acute lesion or not, or the volume of gadolinium-enhancing lesion at baseline, but also what disease-modifying therapy they used. So we found that people on low to moderate efficacy DMTs or platform DMTs, and also high-efficacy DMTs or monoclonal disease-modifying therapies were significantly less likely to have a new paramagnetic lesion compared to people who were not on any sort of disease-modifying therapy. However, we found that these disease-modifying therapies didn't influence the probability that one of these PRLs was going to disappear. So really, to summarize what we think that means, if someone's on these disease-modifying therapies, whether it's low or high efficacy, it's likely to prevent a paramagnetic lesion, but they don't affect PRLs that already exist within the brain. I'm currently working on kind of expanding this idea that I looked at over PRL appearance and disappearance, but also PRL evolution. So I really want to understand what factors, in addition to the basic clinical, radiological, and demographic factors, are associated with, decreasing the amount of PRLs that appear, but also, how do we get PRLs to go away faster? Is there stuff, is there factors like smoking, which we know increases susceptibility and to multiple sclerosis? I mean, does that influence this? Genetics, stuff like Epstein-Barr virus, does that influence these at all? So, I'm really interested in that. And I'm also interested in, are these paramagnetic lesions kind of consistently damaging throughout their life cycle? We know they last approximately 7 years. Or alternatively, are they more damaging at certain points? So for instance, if you get a new paramagnetic lesion, is it really damaging up front and then it kind of doesn't do anything for a while? So those are the kind of questions that, I'm trying to answer and see, what's going on there. And that has a lot of potential implications for future clinical trials, when we're targeting these, what's the best way to target these, and really what's the best way to, try to improve the lives of people with chronic multiple sclerosis.